Mag again on with more revealing truth. Now today I'm going to expose some things to you with this so-called election. As you know, with all drama you're getting right now with the so-called recount and everything. You understand? We go get into it and break it down. And I'm going to show you how they do this voting system. By the time this video ends, I'm going to show you how they put the voting system together and how your votes never really count to make the president. We go get into that and break it down. Let's go. Let it run.
It's a process that is essential to the democracy, counting every single vote.
And if you notice, these are the so-called people right here counting every single vote right there by hand. Remember, this was a system that they already done with as far as people mailing in votes. That's not right, people. In 2020, they're mailing in votes and have to count it by hand. That's just bullshit. That's why they do that, so they can have their drama for the dumb people. Have you sitting on the edge of your seat waiting for a winner. And I told you already, at the end of the day, you're going to be a lot of disappointment, just like they give you in the pandemic.
This year, it's also something that is taking more time than in past
There you go,
elections.
people.
The biggest reason, the unprecedented number of Americans who voted by mail.
You hear that, people? So this time, a lot of people vote by mail. And listen, what's the reason why they vote by mail? And I'm going to show you they're full of shit.
Because of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic.
There you go, people. Because of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. You believe that, people? I already told you about this virus. Only people that can't get it is the people that dumb down to almost death. You understand? If you're that sleep, you're just dead. You can't see that the whole virus thing is a hoax. This is a virus pandemic, meaning that you're supposed to see people flip over in the streets and dying from it, suffer from lack of air. You understand? Can't breathe. Why you can't see that in the street? Why the government have to show you that shit on TV? Because it's not real, people. Just wake your ass up. And of course, you go vote in the pandemic. Do you have a big old pandemic, so-called, that the same government people give you? And you get up, go line up to go vote? Who you trying to vote for? This is bullshit.
What we're looking at right now are early ballots that voters held on to until...
And look what this one got behind it. You see that right there? The sun ray. And it said vote. They're forcing everybody to vote. And look at the numbers right here. It said road to 270. And I told you that's according for the number 9. But pay attention. Biden with 253. Trump with 214. And if you go on another channel, I'm not playing. The numbers is different. How different news channel got different numbers? Of course, it's a hoax.
Few days, and those are in the process.
There you go,
of being
people.
signatured.
This is what they want to show the masses with this fake counting of the vote. It's nothing but a hoax, people. Why is those states still ain't finished counting after the election finished 4 days ago? What kind of shit is that, people? Back then when they used to do only mail-in voting, how come they never have 5 days or a week before they finish counting when they have to count everything by hand? This is bullshit right here, people. The election's supposed to count and decide on the same day, unless you got a hoax going on and they're fucking with the people.
Verified before they can be tabulated. So that's what's going on right now.
Despite false claims from
There you
President
go.
Trump, there is
False claim. You're gonna get false claim and everything because it's not real. If it was real life, people, and all of this shit was 100% legit, the Trump wouldn't say shit. He would have just fall back and wait on the result. That's what the real human being would have do. But this is a psyop they got for the dumb people. You understand? What you think it is? Trying to persuade the people in one way. Just like when you're watching a so-called sporting event, maybe the NBA finals or NBA or a so-called Super Bowl. You could see a team down, all the way down, and they drag it out all the way, and then bam, you get you upset. And then the people get to riots and do everything else. You understand? That's what it is, people. It's gonna be a big disappointment when they announce that shit. And since they show you that Biden is ahead, what gonna be the disappointed? Wake up.
from President Trump. There is no evidence votes have been cast after the polls closed.
There you go, people. They're talking about vote that cast after the poll closed. I told you this is dumb shit, people. Why would you let people mail in vote on the same day of the election when you was gonna get to count them? This is bullshit right here. And of all those big states that they got, is these small states like Nevada and them don't count yet. This is bullshit.
Just being counted.
There you
Election
go.
workers nationwide diligently
Bullshit.
doing what they
It's just a fucking front, people. This is fake shit. Just wake your ass up.
In all past elections, with cameras capturing the entire process.
Camera capturing it? Is it real, people? You better wake your ass up. It's just a smoke screen.
In many locations.
We're following the law. It's a legal process.
Yeah, they're following the law. That's why he show up with all books behind him, even a clock. You better wake up. It's bullshit.
And the will of the people will be respected here in Pennsylvania.
Any issues
Pennsylvania.
are also addressed.
Wow.
When they get scanned, if there is a overvote or an ambiguous mark on an election, it then has to be adjudicated, and that requires volunteers
Wow.
from the Democrat parties to sit together.
Yes, and of course it's volunteer from the Democrat Party there. It's bullshit, people. Just wake up. What is they doing right here? I already told you, just a show. A pandemic entertainment for the dumb masses with this election.
Decide what that voter meant. And when you have a larger number of ballots, it takes a longer amount of time.
In the consequential state of Pennsylvania, mail-in ballots sent by election day will be accepted if they arrive by 5 p.m.
You
today.
hear that, people? They still accept them on the same day of the election when they was go get to count them. This is bullshit right here. Why? And I told you already, people, if you was paying attention to the so-called voting, they tell you when mail-in voting done. When was the final day for you to mail in your vote. How the fuck you got the mail-in vote on the same day of the election? It's not real, people. What's wrong? Just go back. If you pay attention to the whole thing, they keep contradicting themselves, people. They have mail-in voting and it done. You understand? 4 days before the election, that's how it do. They tell you on the news several times, yes, when it expire for you to go and do mail-in voting, when it's done, final day. So how do you get mail-in voting on the same day and you still accept it? Dumb on.
Ballots from Americans overseas, including
Bullshit.
military members, will be
Bullshit.
accepted until next Tuesday. The Trump
Wow,
campaign.
they're going to be accepted until next Tuesday. So when did you plan to count those votes? The vote was going to get to count for the election day? This is a joke, people. Wake up. 100% psyop.
Facing an uphill battle to secure a second term, now shifting the battle to
Bullshit.
the courtroom.
All
Suing
bullshit.
to stop the count in states where he's ahead.
Wow,
And challenge-
stop the counts of the ballots where we are ahead. You believe that, people? It's just a show for the dumb people. They're not getting it.
legal votes in states where he's behind.
Wow.
At least 10 cases so far.
There you
2
go.
have been dismissed,
All
one
bullshit.
settled, one withdrawn.
I think that the cases that have been filed for the most part are part of a strategy to match the president's rhetoric.
Wow,
and create
it's
the
nothing
impression
but
that
bullshit, people. Just wake up. This is just a smoke screen they're giving the masses. They have to confuse you. You understand? This is how they do it. I
this
told you.
election is rigged, when in fact it's not.
It's not.
So
In fact, it's not. I'm going to get to that and break it down and show you some things. If you want to believe, that's all on you. But I tell you, the election is rigged. They don't use votes to put the president in. Bam.
Trump campaign were in any way successful in challenging ballots that were already cast and then counted. The
Wow.
question will be, well, what possible remedy could there be? Because, of course, a ballot arrives, it is in that sealed envelope, the envelope is opened, and then, of course, you remove the ballot, it doesn't have your name on it, and that goes through the process.
Wow, it go through the process. What's the process? You open the ballot, you see who the person vote for, and then it go through the process. Dumb on.
Did you ever track down those ballots if they decided if they were successful in challenging
Wow.
any ballots that were already counted? So this is really a very challenging.
Yes, it's challenging. A very challenging what? It's bullshit, people. Wake your ass up. It's just a bullshit. Wow, the mass is just easy to convince by these people on TV. Wow.
Joe Biden takes the lead in Pennsylvania. Amazing.
Bam. And this is the reason why they do it, people. Like I done mentioned, just like a sporting event, is the same damn thing they give you right here, people. Why you can't see it? So they could come on and say, oh, breaking news. Joe Biden take the lead. It's nothing but bullshit. What he take the lead by? 1 single point? A percentage point? This is bullshit right here, people. This is what they do to keep you on the edge of your seat. Yes, waiting for a winner. It's bullshit, people. Made up.
Major development right now. Take a look at this. Biden, 49.4%. Trump, 49.3%.
Wow.
Biden takes the lead. He is ahead by 5,587 votes.
Wow.
With the votes that have just come in, 20 electoral votes.
So you see, people, 20 electoral vote, and I'm going to break that down and show you how they come by these states with different so-called electoral votes. How did they do that, people? That's how you know the system is rigged. It's confusing for the real people. That's what it is. If you ever look into it and you have no brain, you can't break it down. The man can, and I'm going to show you how they come up with those so-called electoral votes. Yes, the number of votes don't count. It's the number of electoral votes. Wow, are you kidding me, people? Let it run.
Pennsylvania, Biden takes the lead. Let's go to John King and see what's going on. John, this is a dramatic development. 20 electoral votes.
There you go. 20 in Pennsylvania, 20 electoral vote. You see that, people? Let's go to this character right here that give you everything. Let's watch.
The president cannot win.
Wow, there you go, people.
without Pennsylvania.
And a lot of people not gonna understand it. So let me kind of break it down for you. See this same guy right here, that with this chart right here, he give you the same thing when it comes to the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, anything, any sporting event. You understand? Yes, the MLB, any one of them. You see him come on the same screen right here. Even the hurricane. He come on the same screen and show you what you can understand, people. Everything. He show you the hurricane right there. He show you the COVID-19, the same guy. And of course, he have the politics also. Can show you right here. What you think? He's a professional in all those cases? No, people. Just a damn puppet bring you the psyop.
And without Georgia, overnight, Georgia flipped blue.
There you
Seconds
go.
ago, Pennsylvania flipped to the blue. You cannot understate this moment. It's not over. Still counting votes. But
Yes,
Joe
it's
Biden
not
now in the lead in
over.
Pennsylvania, in the lead in Georgia, in the lead in Nevada, in
Yes.
the lead in
So
Arizona.
you see, people, all the states that undecided, yes, they already get. Remember, I just showed you the polling office where they so-called counting the votes, people. How the fuck did these people on CNN and any one of those news company, they get the results same time before the fucking votes count, people? The votes not finished counting yet. They just show you the poll with them counting those votes, people. So if they're counting the votes, what? Every time they count and reach to a certain amount, they call CNN and give them the result. You're still not finished counting yet. Why don't you wait till you finish count, then you give them the final numbers? How did you know that Joe Biden take the lead in votes that don't count yet? They're not finished counting yet, people. So you're counting and updating the news channel with the numbers? No, people, they would have to count them and finish because they're way behind. Why not just finish it and then tell the news company where they're at? How they gonna update them with this race, people? You're busy counting ballots and counting votes, but you can announce it to tell these people how far Joe Biden is? This is bullshit, people. Wake up. It's a psyop.
To win the presidency right now. So let's see what just happened in Pennsylvania. It is
See?
blue right now.
He leading in everywhere. That undecided.
Presidency in part because of this state. He was ahead. Donald Trump was just moments ago.
It's bullshit. You see, Donald Trump was ahead just moments ago. You see what I tell you, people? So while they counting the vote, they updating CNN with the result? No, people, that's not how it goes. All the votes supposed to count, then you bring in the numbers. How did you get to these people to keep updating them with the numbers before they finish counting? So every time you count, you stop and send the message to CNN? That's fake shit, people. If you can't get it, come on.
Joe Biden now, 5,587 votes ahead.
All
Votes came in
bullshit.
from right here in Philadelphia just moments ago. Joe Biden now at 313,000 votes. You see
All
95% of the
coding.
vote in. Important to note, Wolf, there are still more votes to get. That's Montgomery County. I'm sorry, I touched the wrong line. 95% of the votes in Philadelphia, 80% from Philadelphia right here. As you watch the president. Important to
Wow,
note,
so they tell you how much percent of the vote already count and know the numbers already. Wow, this is garbage.
still more votes to come from Philadelphia, but they just updated their vote count, and as they did.
And I
again,
told you, people, if you don't believe me that they're doing this shit as a race, why did they have to put this down here? Biden takes the lead in Pennsylvania, just like a damn sporting event, people, that you have to keep your eye on because you want to know the result.
The president of the United States
Wow.
moments ago had an 18,000
Wow.
vote lead in Pennsylvania. Joe Biden now, 5,587 vote lead, and that math has been
All right, let's go
controlled.
through the numbers. We just got the numbers, the exact numbers from Philadelphia.
You see,
Just-
people, they just get the exact numbers from Philly. So while they're there counting the votes, they're updating CNN with the numbers. That's not real, people. It's not real. It's a hoax.
And then we'll share them with our viewers right now. Biden, let's start off with Biden. He got 27,396 votes.
All coding.
Trump got 3,760
Watch this, people.
votes.
Wow.
Biden got 87% of the votes. There were 31,412 votes that were just tallied. They just came in.
Wow.
You can see what's going on.
They just come in, people, and that's not the final numbers. So why send it to CNN and the final number not there yet? Is to keep you on the edge of your seat. It's a hoax.
7% of that vote came in for Biden. As a result, He has now taken the lead in Pennsylvania by 5,587 votes.
And this is a very important number. That is overwhelming math. You can do that. Your eyes tell you that. That's overwhelming math. But this is the important number because we have seen it consistently out of these Democratic strongholds. As we came in this morning, Joe Biden needed to win 55, 56% of the outstanding vote in Pennsylvania to overtake the president's lead. 55, 56%. We keep seeing.
You want to tell me one thing, people? I'm going to ask you a question. So it's 4 states, basically. Just put it like that. 4 states that in the swing right now that they haven't decided yet. Right? It's 4 of them. Okay? So you want to tell me that those 4 states, none of those 4 states come to yet. So all 4 states is still counting. That's not real, people. Why one of them can't finish so it decide? it can decide. It can decide the so-called election then if one more state decide. Because if one more state decide and it go to Biden, which they tell you Biden is leading in all of them. So if one more state go to Biden, then Biden go basically win the whole thing. So what the hell is the holdout for? I told you it's a drama. What is the holdout for, people? They can't decide one more state yet? Out of those 4 that holding up the whole thing from day one, they don't decide not even one of them yet. I'm 4 days in. Wow. Not even one. So they're going to do all 4 of them going to decide at the same time. Okay, I got you.
North of 80%, 87% in the latest installment. When you talked to Kate Baldwin just a short time ago, she said they would report north of 20,000 votes. They did. They came in north of 30,000 votes here, and that was the question. How many votes, and what would the percentage be?
Wow.
It was an 18,000 vote lead for the President of the United States. You could just do this math at home. That 27,000 overtook. That not nearly enough to offset it. 87% out of this count in Philadelphia. I just want to move this up again because this is now the potentially decisive moment in the race. Joe Biden pulls ahead. Again, that's close. The president, we're going to count the rest of the votes. The president is making allegations of all sorts of bad things. Please.
Yeah, you're talking about what that kind of allegation the so-called president is made. Why are you talking about that? That's just the distraction. You need to just pay attention to the so-called race and bring the people the so-called right number. Why you have to mention what the fucking president say? I told you it's distraction.
Potentially 20,000 votes outstanding in Philadelphia alone. We're waiting for those numbers.
Right, 20,000 more votes here in Philadelphia. A small number of votes, too, in the suburban collar counties around Philadelphia.
Wow, and they still ain't get them yet, people. The votes just there. They can't get to count them yet. And you believe in this hoax? Wow, bam.
If you watch the news during a presidential election, you'll hear a lot of this.
What do the national polls look like?
Hillary Clinton's national lead.
National. Joe Biden is currently ahead.
But these
National. Take a look at this right here, people. And I'm going to break it down and show you some things. How the election is rigged. Right in front of the masses' face. But of course, they can't break it down. They can't figure it out. So they just believe in it. Watch this.
Polls don't actually tell you who's going to win.
Of course.
Throw the national polls out the window.
Yes, and now and then they won't mock you like that because they actually let you base the whole election off those national polls. And of course, they're not real. It's all fucking fakery.
Matter at all. What matters are those swing states.
Yes,
swing state. There you go.
Most democracies around the world elect their head of state with a popular vote. So whoever gets the most votes wins. But in America, we do it a little differently.
You know why? Because America got the biggest election system ever. Just watch what they put in it, people. I told you about the Supreme Court and everything else. Every fucking thing is different because what? They run the biggest trick on the mind of the masses right here in America. That's why they do this right here. That's why the election run the way it's run, like this.
The U.S. is the only country that picks its president using something called the Electoral
There
College.
you go. Electoral College. This is what it is right here. Remember, they said they wanted to get rid of this because this is what let Donald Trump win the last time. And here you go again, people. Watch this.
It's made up of delegates from each U.S. state.
You
When
see?
Americans vote for president, what they're actually voting for is who their state will vote for.
You hear that, people? Who the people actually vote for is what their state would vote for. So you see, your deliberate vote never go towards who become the president. Okay, watch and pay attention.
This is why, every so often, someone wins the presidency without winning the popular vote.
You hear that? Don't worry about the popular vote, people. That's bullshit. So, if everybody in America voting, how you think they should decide the president, people? You tell me. It should be everybody vote count up. Red and blue. And if more people vote for the red, that's who should win. If more people vote for the blue, that's who should win. That's easy for everybody to figure out, right? But that's not how it goes in America. You understand that, people? The majority of the vote won't get you the winnings. It's the electoral college. That's what gonna decide the so-called winner. So if you notice, California got 55 electoral votes, right? And Maine have, I think, 4 or something like that. Even Nevada have like 3. You feel what I'm saying? So the California vote is worth more than the Nevada votes, if you understand what I mean. Let it run. We go break it all the way down. Let it play.
It's happened twice in just the past 20 years.
There you go. Same thing.
The majority of Americans do not like the system and haven't for a long time. Both political parties...
You hear that, people? Just listen to what they just say and you understand. America don't control America. It's just that simple. Now go back again. Listen. Pay attention.
System and haven't for a long time.
The American people don't like the system. Pay attention, people. The American people that voting don't like the system. And listen, who else don't want to get it changed? Who also don't like it? Pay attention.
Both political parties have made attempts to get rid of it.
You hear that, people? So listen. This is important right here. So the people don't want it and both parties don't want it. But it's still in place. So who is running this fucking country, people? You see how easy you see shit? Look how easy you get the truth come to you. I'm asking you a question. Who is running the America? The people that voting don't want that system. Both party that you vote for don't want that system, and the system still exists. So I told you, people, the world government is the one who control America. America don't control itself. That's what you need to know. That's why they have a deficit. Wow.
Why does the U.S. still use the Electoral College?
I'm going to tell you why. Because it's easier for them to disguise the fakery. Right there, hide votes and everything. Tell you where your votes end up. You never understand. This is why you know it's rigged. 100% rigged. Wow.
The Electoral College is based on how people are represented in Congress.
You hear that?
Each state has a number of representatives based on its population.
You hear that, people? Based on its population, the people basically add up to these so-called electoral votes. You believe that? Wow.
College is based on how people are represented in Congress, where each state has a number of representatives based on its population, and every state also gets 2 senators. So, for example, let's look at Texas, which has a huge population, and Vermont, which has a really small one. Texas has 36 representatives in Congress.
All coding, as you could see, it's 6-3 right there also. Another coding
Vermont
backwards.
only gets 1. Representatives in both states each represent roughly the same number of people.
You hear that? But pay attention, people. This is where the trick at right
The
here.
Electoral College, a state gets the same number of delegates as their congressional representatives, plus 2 for each senator. So Texas has 38 electoral votes, Vermont has 3.
You hear that, people? Vermont got 3. Texas have over 30. Let's go back. I missed that. Let's go back.
38 electoral votes.
Okay, 38. 38 for Texas. Vermont got 3. So you understand what I'm saying, though, right? So if, say, for instance, just throw something out there. So Donald Trump win Texas and Biden win Vermont right there. Even though both of them win a state, one count as 38 and one count as 3. There go your trickery right there in the election, people. You got what I'm saying? You need to count the votes, not the so-called electoral college bullshit that they got for the masses. That's how you know the election is rigged.
3. But this combination makes the number of people each delegate represents way different between states. In Texas, 1 electoral delegate represents 3 times the amount of people.
That's not right, people. That shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. So you want to tell me that the Texas vote worth more than the Vermont so-called vote? Wow, there you go, people. So 1 person don't represent 1 vote. This is how they do it right here.
In Vermont. And that makes each individual person's vote in Vermont a lot more influential. The Electoral College creates discrepancies like this all over the country.
It's all
A voter
planned.
in Wyoming is worth 3.5 times as much as a voter in California.
There you go, people.
And the winner of the presidential election is the candidate who gets 270 or more of these electoral
And of course, they come up with this number right here, this 270 for your number 9. And the question you have to ask yourself is, how they set it up where both candidates can actually get to 270? How they do that, people? You tell me. How did they make it so both candidates can get to this 270? Wow. You see what I'm saying, people? The last election, Hillary have over 270 and Donald Trump have over 300. So both of them can get to 270. So I always ask this question, is it the person that get there first gonna win? This is bullshit, people. Wake up. The whole thing is rigged.
Votes. These are the results of the 2016 election by state. You're probably more familiar with this version of it. a map
You see, this is what they show you. And look at it, people. Majority of it is red. That's what you see right there, people. The blue is just sprinkled around. Even Alaska right there is red. This is how they do it right here. And you believe that this chart right here decide the election? I don't think so.
red states and blue states. But this chart tells a different story. You can see that no state is actually all red or all blue. But almost every state awards its electoral votes the same way.
You see?
The candidate who gets the most votes in a state gets all its electoral votes.
There you go, people. Once you win the state, you win all the electoral vote. There you go.
If they win the state by 1%, they win 100% of the electoral
Yeah.
votes. In 2016, more than 4 million people voted for Donald Trump in California.
Watch this.
In fact, more people voted for him there than in any other state except for 2. But it didn't matter. Hillary Clinton got more votes there, so she got all 55 of its electoral votes. Clinton never even campaigned in California. Polling showed she'd easily win the state. Trump only visited Texas once. He knew he'd basically have that state's electoral votes locked. But they both visited Florida 35 or more times.
There you go, people. Why? And of course, I told you about Florida already, people. They use it for the election psyop. Yes, and it's so-called one of those so-called swing states. You never understand. Just pay attention to every election that you see. Florida votes always be the last one to come in. I'm surprised that this so-called election don't have them holding it out. You understand? They always say the vote is still counting in Florida. Always. Because that's where they run their psyop on the masses. You see that? You see they campaign in Texas once. They never campaign in so-called California. But look at so-called Florida. Both of them campaign there almost 35 times. There you go right there, people.
That's because Florida is usually a swing state.
There you go.
Polls
Both
show
swing
that the vote there
state.
could swing to one party or another nearly every election. Trump
All
only won it in
bullshit.
2016 by 100,000 votes out of more than 9 million.
All
Swing
coded.
states have changed over time thanks to shifting demographics and political views.
Yes, you see, political views, which is all agenda they give the dumb people. That's what they do.
States like these, where presidential candidates spend most of their time campaigning.
There you go.
It also means these states have way more influence over the election than these ones. A study found that voters in Michigan had 51 times the amount of influence on the 2016 election as someone from
And of course, Michigan always in there also. Yes.
a state like Utah. Voters in states like California or Missouri mattered very little. Swing states are where the election actually takes place. They get the attention and the influence, and they only exist because of the Electoral College. It
You see
doesn't
that?
seem very fair. But the Electoral College has always shifted power away from some people and towards others. It was how it was designed. Back when there were just a few states, not 50, they had to get all the states to agree on the Constitution. One problem. The northern states, which were largely anti-slavery, wanted only free
See?
people to count in the population towards electoral votes, which they had more of. The pro-slavery southern states were worried that they would be constantly outvoted and wanted enslaved people to count in determining the population. As a compromise, they settled on something called the Three-Fifths Clause. It
And of
established
course, it go involve the three. All right,
that
code
an
in.
enslaved person would only count as 3/5 of a person. In 1800, Pennsylvania, a northern state, and Virginia, a southern one, had about the same number of free people living there. But Virginia was also home to hundreds of thousands of enslaved people who had no freedom, let alone a vote, and ended up with more votes in the Electoral College than Pennsylvania. That year, those extra electoral votes gave the candidate from Virginia just enough to win.
There you go, people, with your Thomas Jefferson. And I told you already, people, the whole thing is rigged from day one. It's not just now. So a lot of people be like screaming out, oh, the election is rigged. I told you already, it's never fair. The whole thing is set up and they're gonna put whoever they got selected for that so-called seat for the president. You understand me? They're not gonna sit there and wait for the people to elect them. No, they're the one who select them and put them right there for the dumb people.
Even after the U.S. finally abolished slavery and eventually gave Black Americans the right to vote, white
There
Southern
you
leaders
go.
found ways to keep them from voting, like with discriminating laws like poll taxes and acts of violence.
Poll taxing and even acts of violence. But what you have to understand, people, when they're trying to hold you back from something or so-called prevent you from getting to something, you feel like Oh, it's something important that I need to get in. That's why they're holding me back from getting into it. And now they got black people all up in their feelings and running to go vote because, yes, there was holding it back from them. They didn't get involved in the so-called voting, and now, yes, they let them in. So now black people turning dummies, running at the polls to go vote. That's dumb shit for the masses. I told you, any direction they want you, that's where they're going to lead you. Of course, even if they give you a dumb story about slavery.
This meant they continued to have overrepresentation in the Electoral College on behalf of a large population that couldn't vote. The first time Congress attempted to replace the Electoral College with a simple popular vote was back in 1860.
Watch this.
But senators from southern states blocked it,
There you go.
saying it would be deeply injurious to them.
There you go, people. The same peoples who so-called don't want that system. Remember, both parties don't want it. The people don't want it. And it's still in place. What that tell you, people? They have to leave room so they can rig the whole thing. You understand me? Where the people can track back the votes. And I already told you that's the reason why they have some other people on the ballot. Even Kanye West, I guess they say on the ballots. You understand me, people? Now, what you have to understand, if you go in any little city or any little state and you're going to vote, you're not going to see Donald Trump and Biden on the damn poll. No. You see the people in your district. Just kind of understand what I'm saying, people. So, in your so-called district or your town or whatever, you notice that two people running and they're going against each other, talking shit. One say, oh, this one was a raper. This one say, oh, this one was a drug addict. Oh, this one run a car off the road and kill some people and get away with it. Oh, this was a police that running for Senate and he was a criminal in the police force. They're not lying. All of them got dirt, serious dirt on the masses. But those are the people you're actually voting for, so-called. You understand? So when you vote for them, if they're one red and one blue and you're voting for one of them, yes, it go end up on the Biden and the so-called Trump. You get what I'm saying, people? So you're not a person sitting in his district saying, no, I like this guy right here, so that's who I'm going to vote for. But when you vote for him, you actually vote for Donald Trump or Biden. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a rigged system set up for the dumb masses. That's all it is. The people that seems more closer to you. Remember, you're not going to see this Donald Trump come in your neighborhood trying to fix shit and trying to get, the people to, go with what's going on or trying to, help them out or nothing. But sometimes you might see your district people come around and acting like they're doing something. That's who you vote for. You understand? But at the end of the day, they tell you that the vote going to go to Donald Trump or Joe Biden. What you think? Rigon, bam.
I'm joined here today with members of my executive team, along with District Attorney Larry Krasner, to give an update on the arrests of two individuals outside of the convention center late last night.
You hear that? They arrest two individuals at the convention center last night. And I told you it's a hoax, people. Wow, they're just fooling the dumb masses with this election.
On November 5th, 2020, the FBI in Norfolk, Virginia received a tip stating that individuals were en route from...
The FBI get a tip. So people got the FBI number to give them a tip, call them and give them a tip. No, people, it's bullshit. You can't call the FBI to give them no damn tip. It's garbage. 100% trash. Who give the tip?
To Philadelphia in a silver Hummer truck and were in possession of weapons and ammunition.
And of course, they're in a silver Hummer truck and people know they got guns and ammunition in that truck. It's bullshit, people. Wake up. 100% election psyop.
Last night at 10:20 p.m.
That's a number 3. 10-2. Yes.
Philadelphia police officers spotted a silver Hummer with Virginia tags parked unattended at 230 North 13th Street.
You hear that? 230. Another coding again for your 23. Wake up, people. It's a fake shit.
And broadcast this information over police radio. At 10:27 p.m.
So it was the FBI that the people tipped off. They're the one who roll up on that so-called silver Hummer? Okay.
Two Philadelphia police officers, bicycle patrol officers,
bicycle.
Subject number 1, who was later identified as a 61-year-old.
That's according to a 61-year-old. There you go, people. Yes, of course, the bicycle police observe him with gun. Come on.
Arch Street, 1230 Arch Street.
1230. There you go, people. 3633. Right there with your 12. With your 1230. You understand? That's how they do it.
Carrying a Beretta 9mm.
Wow, and he carrying a Beretta 9mm. That's another coding again. And of course, remember, they're in the Hummer. And a bicycle police observe all of that shit right there. Come on. In plain view in a holster.
In the company of subject number 2, who was a 42-year-old male
42 for your number 6. Bam.
who appeared to have a handgun concealed under his jacket.
Wow. He appeared to have a handgun concealed under his jacket. If he have a concealed weapon under his jacket, how the fuck it appeared to have it? Under a jacket?
The 61-year-old, a Pacific Islander male, stated that he did not have a handgun permit and was placed under arrest. The 42-year-old, a white male, stated that he had a Beretta 40 caliber pistol under his jacket and a Virginia concealed carry permit.
So the one with the jacket also have another Beretta, a 9mm.
The state of Pennsylvania does not recognize handgun permits issued by Virginia, so he was also taken into custody. The male stated that they came to Philadelphia in the silver Hummer, parked up the street, and gave written consent to search the vehicle. In that vehicle, an AR-style rifle was recovered from the vehicle.
There you go, people. A AR-style rifle, a AR-style. Wow, this is bullshit for the dumb masses. And I tell you, bless the people that believe in these bullshit right here that they get in the pandemic entertainment. Wow.
This investigation is ongoing between the Philadelphia Police Department and the DA's office,
of course,
in close conjunction with the FBI.
Of course.
My office is currently reviewing the evidence and determining what charges to bring. Well, we have not finalized our decisions in that regard because we are still obtaining.
So you still don't know what charge to bring them? Okay. They have illegal guns, and of course they're at the convention center, and you don't know what to charge them with? So why the fuck did you lock them up? Okay.
Evidence. As I speak here, those charges definitely will include charges of illegal possession of firearms in Philadelphia, specifically Section 6106 and 6108, which are known as VUFA, or Violations of the Uniform Firearms Act charges. It is likely there will be some other related charges, possibly possession of an instrument of crime, possibly prohibited offensive weapon, possibly a criminal offense under the Election Code. Now, let me say this. At this time, we do not have indications that the story is bigger than these two individuals.
There you go, people. You know where they're going with it. Open another alley for the masses to go down. There you go right there. Yes, it's maybe somebody else behind it. These guys come out with guns at the convention center. Of course. Come on.
It's got much louder and busier here than when I last spoke to you.
Watch this right here.
A crowd has grown outside the convention center in Philadelphia, where that count is taking place at the moment for those all-important final ballots that will make such a significant decision.
You hear that, people? They're right there where they're counting the ballots, and look at this right here. Red and blue balloons and everything. Police post up for the camera. It's all fake shit for the dumb masses. I told you already. Later on, they're going to tell you that this caused another heartbreak. That's how they do it.
Now, this side of the street, outside the convention center, are people who are here protesting for every vote to be counted.
They're protesting for every vote to be counted? Is this a dumb shit or what? What makes you think all the votes wasn't gonna count? This is bullshit. I told you, government operation. You think a regular person gonna leave his home, go down there with signs for them to count all the votes? Wow. Come on, people. And there you go, people. Look at this right here. You believe that these are just regular people? No. It's government organized. And I told you, all the fucking uprising is coming. It don't matter who win. Just remember that shit. The uprising gonna happen. As you can see, this one with the whole face tie up. This one with the orange mask on. Dumb on. There you go, people. Wow. First of all, this is why Donald Trump say that, so you can have this right here. The whole thing is scripted, people. Why would the people go down there? Because Donald Trump say he don't want the votes to count. The people never say, okay, we're going to listen to Donald Trump and don't count the votes. So why the fuck would you go down there with a picket sign said count the votes? Dumb the fuck on. All bullshit. You see what the person got on the sign? Count all. They got their mask on and everything. Just like when they give you the George Floyd bullshit, it was allowed. Everybody can march and riot and do all type of shit. But otherwise, they tell you can't go move around. You're in a lockdown. There you go right there. The same shit they give you right here. I already told you, government operation. Look at them. There you go. Yes, introduce us to somebody that you already plan with right here and rehearse some shit. Pay attention right here. They don't pick up random people. Just remember that shit.
Hello, thank you for speaking to us.
Look at him, and of course he got the gear on. What you think, people? Black and yellow with the pyramid on.
Here's a Donald Trump supporter, I see.
Absolutely.
How are you feeling today?
Well, I'm feeling really sad for our country because this is not a fair election.
You hear that, people? All of a sudden, it's not a fair election. Remember, did Donald Trump tell you that the last time he ran against the Hillary Clinton, that the election is rigged, and he's the one who end up winning? Pay attention. It's a Donald Trump so-called supporter right there telling you that the election is not fair. Wow.
Any person on the planet with a thinking brain understands what's happening right before our eyes.
Wow.
Before they stopped counting, Donald Trump was ahead in all these key states.
You hear that, people? Before they stopped counting, Donald Trump was ahead in those key states. But guess what? They so-called still counting. So what the fuck is your problem? This is bullshit right here, people. When did they tell you they stopped counting? Wow.
All of a sudden, they decided to stop counting. Then when they knew how many ballots they needed to pass him, they came up with mysterious votes. 20, 30,000. 100% for Biden.
Wow.
America is a great country.
Why is they selling the masses this division shit, people? And of course, they mention it out their mouth that the country never be this divided before. They're the one who do it with the fake pandemic and now the election. Bam.
Americans are only going to stand for this so much longer before something horrible happens. The Democratic Party is not the party of John F. Kennedy. They are socialists. They know they can't
There they go.
unless they cheat and steal. What's going on?
You see the new numbers that they give you on Pennsylvania now? There you go. This is what they've been showing on every one of those news that I break down. There you go. The Biden lead by 1 stroke. There you go. That's how they're telling the masses. Stay on the edge of your seat. You're going to get a winner soon. Remember, the so-called Joe Biden is close right there from what? 4 days ago? He at the same spot and didn't move. The same thing with the Donald Trump numbers. So they have to hold it out. None going to win. Not even one state going to come to yet. The whole of them going to come to at the same time for them to decide this election. You believe in it, people? If you can't see that it's rigged at this time, of course you're never going to see it. Everybody just play dead.
Behind us is raw corruption at its finest.
Raw corruption.
When you frame it like that, of course it sounds unfair. But the reality...
And I told you, people, watch this again. The Pennsylvania is one of those so-called swing states. They always have the same drama with these same states when it comes to the election. And what you think about the so-called electoral votes, electoral college? Yes, that's what decide the so-called president. You're dumb as a box of rocks. The whole thing is rigged. I'm gone.